Let's get going. It is November 16th, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Time and date of the Advanced Deposit Wagering or ADW subcommittee meeting. We have three main items in our agenda. First, to approve the agenda, which consists of welcoming new Director of Mutuals, Micah Lloyd, review of last quarter handle and trends, and the review of the attendance at ADW symposium and the topics that we're gonna touch upon. Any addendums to the agenda? Anyone? No? Okay, let's proceed. Connie, do you want to make the introduction?
Yes, I would. I would like to officially introduce our new Director of Mutuals, a new title, which is still in the process of rulemaking, but it's easier just to start out with one title. Micah Lloyd. Micah comes to us with a long background of work in the advanced deposit wagering field. He has also worked in the tribal gaming industry, which is going to be great for his work as the new Oregon Racing Commission tribal liaison. He has worked with both Sport Tech, a tote company, which we now call Global Tech, and eBet, which is one of our current ADWs. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him to share a little more about his background. I will say that he's highly regarded in the industry by the ADWs and is extremely knowledgeable on everything we do. Plus, he has a very in-depth information technology background, which is very important in this position. So with that, welcome, Micah, and please add anything else you might like.
Thank you, Executive Director Wynn. I believe you took all the wind out of my sails. Yes, I look forward to supporting the regulation of the multi-jurisdictional account wagering in Oregon. Previously, I was one of the regulated ADWs through Oregon, so I get to see how both sides of the business work. I've been involved in horse racing since 2000, when an account wagering straight off the bat. With eBet and advanced deposit wagering since 2008, and licensed through the Oregon Racing Commission. You're correct, I've had experience with the tribals as liaisons and dealing with the intertribal discussions and communications and getting them to work together. And I'm looking forward to stepping into this new role here. So thank you very much.
Welcome. Again, really excited to have someone new. Although, you know, Connie leaves you big shoes to fill. She's right there, and I think you two are gonna make a great team in moving this industry forward. I think there are some challenges in the industry, but great opportunities as well. So hopefully we can use some synergy between the ORC, the ADWs, our friends in the tribal community, and move some nice projects forward.
Agreed.
Well, with that, let's move on to the review of last quarter's handle and trends.
I have had an opportunity to look at the Q3 results. I'm pleased to report that we've showed generally a 1.4% increase over the same quarter in 2021. This is a nice trend compared to the first two quarters of the year, where we had a decline over previous years. Breeders' Cup in particular was also a very nice uptick this year. We showed a 2.6% increase in handle overall. And I'm also very pleased to report that a lot of the smaller ADWs showed a very large percentage increase, contributing to that bottom line.
Okay.
Nice, thank you. Is there any sort of indication as to why the first 2 quarters we dropped and then on the third quarter we went up? Is it sort of a seasonal thing that occurs, or is there any other explanation for that?
I believe in my previous discussions with Executive Director Wynn, those were kind of pointing towards COVID-related issues. Connie, is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I agree. So we saw some unnaturally high handle during COVID, which we loved, and we would hope we could keep beating forever. But those first 2 quarters were closer to what we were doing before. They were ahead, but more on track with before COVID, when we had that huge influx.
Okay, I saw Matthew nodding. So Matthew, you from inside of the industry, it's your assessment as well that it's mostly leveling off after the COVID surge that we had.
Yes.
In handle?
Yes, the handle in Q1, Q2, if you do an apples to apples comparison, you're comparing against COVID lockdown months. So when we took a step back and looked at the decreases that we saw year over year, we did analysis on players and stuff like that, and that's what we kind of came to that conclusion. When we got to Q3, when we actually had a full true apples to apples comparison, we had strong upturns in Q3, and Q3, the back end of Q3 and now Q4 is going to be, at least for us, is going to be interesting final numbers because we're running Belmont and Aqueduct versus Belmont, and I suspect that's probably industry wide. You're going to see some decline on that product because Aqueduct handle at the end of the day isn't as strong as Belmont. So this is the first year we've done the Belmont at Aqueduct meet. So there could be what I would say some more downward pressure on overall ADW handle. Naira Bets has been performing very well year over year, but we're still new to the game, so to speak, versus the other ADWs who are a little bit more mature.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to comment on the third quarter results? No? Well, thank you all, and Matthew, for your input. Next item in the agenda is a review of the attendance for the ADW Symposium and the topics. Connie, do you want to start that, or?
Micah, if you'd like, you
Micah.
are the expert now.
Yeah, thank you.
I've
Connie
been
and I
working with Connie for too long. It's a knee-jerk reaction that I have. My apologies, Micah.
No worries. I'm only a month into this, so now I appreciate that. Connie and I will be at the symposium in Tucson the day before it starts, and we're there mostly to facilitate the ADWs getting together to discuss topics. They want to talk about a few specific things, shared wallets, where we are and how that will impact the industry, geofencing discussions, how sports wagering in the credit card industry is influencing geofencing, and then also just to ensure that we're working together. If we're working together as opposed to individually, then we as an industry will be stronger. And then how can we continue to go along that path? Following that meeting, the symposium kicks off, and I will be attending mostly to meet individually with the ADWs, but there are several workshops and meetings that are happening. 3 of them come to mind: integrating horse racing into the U.S. sports betting environment. There's a legislative outlook discussion. And finally, illegal betting's threat to the racing industry. And that is what is happening in Tucson in early December.
Awesome. Micah, if you can also, when you're approaching the ADWs down there, something that is key, I think, for us here, and I know we did a virtual symposium during COVID. Remember that, Connie? And one of the things that was a key element, other than the shared wallets and all of the things that you very eloquently mentioned, was the responsible wagering aspect. What measures are we taking, are ADWs taking to continue? This is not an effort that will ever stop. So what is the next step in responsible wagering? What kind of data and strategies can ADWs share comfortably that will continue to foster a more responsible environment in the industry. I'm all for increased profits, but it has to come just behind responsible wagering.
Absolutely, yes, I agree wholeheartedly, and I will make sure that is a topic of discussion.
Awesome. Anything else? Any other comments relating to the symposium? Anything from the ADWs in the room that they would like to hear from us, or any input that you are ready to present then that maybe you can give us a little introduction now, or any comments?
From NIRA standpoint, obviously, we're big proponents of the shared wallet functionality, how the credit card companies and the funding companies in general are relating to this new product, this new B2B product that we have put out there in the marketplace, and other ADWs are doing the same. So I think the discussion around that, and then obviously the geofencing, the geo-targeting is going to be probably lead the way as far as discussion and pain points for the ADWs. I'm sure that Todd's got his own stuff that he probably wants to bring up as well. So I'll defer over to you, Todd. I'm not sure what else you want to bring up.
Hopefully I sound okay.
You do.
Sound great, Todd.
You do.
Okay. For some reason, Zoom has made me sound like Alvin the Chipmunk on some of my other calls. So I'm a little hesitant when the first time I speak. No, I think those two things are actually going to be, probably the highest on our priority list as well. Given that we are also a sports betting company, the shared wallet thing is something we're actively working on right now. I know the FanDuel racing people are also working on it as well. So I think that's going to be a really good topic to go over. Obviously, I think for most of us, the geofencing thing, we'd prefer not to have to do that. But, given the integrations on the sports side and, sports, just by nature of the fact that they don't allow cross-border wagering, it's a big thing, for the sports betting side. So it's something that we're probably all going to have to navigate at some point in time as well. So, and yeah, we've been talking about the responsible wagering, whether or not we want to copy what some of the sports betting jurisdictions have done, which is where the state maintains a self-exclude list and the operators have to parse that list. And so we have internally already decided that for us, anybody that opts out on the sports or the casino side will also be opted out automatically on the racing side. But again, we will, we're already working on the racing side to, parse those lists in those jurisdictions where it's required. And we think that, more and more states are probably going to require it over time. And I know Oregon is, we've talked about it internally. I think we've kind of gotten stuck on whether or not the state wants to maintain a list of self-excludes. But I think it's, a topic that we need to continue to have top of mind.
Agreed.
Make a note of that.
Thank you, Todd. Any other comments?
I
Input?
would just like to throw out one more comment. I just wanted to tell Micah how much I appreciate him and everything he's done. He came out, he's relocating out to the Pacific Northwest and made sure he was present for the first 2 weeks. The second week I said, oh, by the way, I'd like you to go across the state to visit with this tribe. He did without hesitance, and we'll be doing his first 2 audits, which are one of them is the biggest audit next month, and he's going to do them back to back. And I think he'll be exhausted by the time he comes back. So welcome aboard, and he's already contributing. So thank you very much.
Thrown into the fire ASAP. Good.
Yes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's what I sing sometimes and dance if no one's looking. Any other comments that are more proper for the ADW meeting? Nothing? Well, I think we will adjourn. Thank you all for participating.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.